as the wheels turn. Every Thursday night we pedaling as the wheels turn. Racing through the streets and through the hills as the wheels turn. Every Thursday night we pedaling as the wheels turn. Streaming live with Turn on, so yes.
Good night, and a happy Thursday evening to one and all. Thank you, viewers, again for joining the best show here on a Thursday night as the wheels turn. Welcome to the
78
edition of As the Wheels Turn. What an exciting show tonight.
Yes.
Someone is missing from the studio, though.
Oh, man.
What happened? Where is he at? All right, so...
Don't know where he's at. We'll find him later, though, maybe.
Yes, sir. Our gracious host has extended his position here tonight to a great gentleman who's visiting from Boston.
Yes.
No stranger to Belizean cycling now, Mr. Kevin Logan. Welcome, Mr. Logan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wade. Thank you. Thank you all, everybody. Good night to everybody. Good night. We just sort of have a nice little show here and a lot of talking and, just try to capture all the events that happened within the last week and a half. So, we'll have a fun night. It's going to be a very interesting night. Okay, so good night to all my Boston people. I want to say good night to my wife. I can't forget my wife because I got in trouble last week. But good night to everybody, all my Boston fans and everybody that been giving me love and things. So D, what are we going to start off with tonight?
So typically what we do, as always, we start off to the folks who celebrated some type of fun event, some type of milestone. I think you have a list of birthday greetings that you want to get to. I'm not sure if we had any anniversaries this week, and unfortunately, I didn't hear of any death announcements.
Which is very good.
That is a blessing.
Is good. For once, everything positive around here,
Absolutely.
So we did. So the birthday, let's give some birthday wishes out to, and please forgive me if I say these names wrong, but the one and only, the one behind the scene here, Mr. Jerg Ordonez. We have to, and ring that bell. Where's the bell at? We have to ring that bell for Jerg. Happy birthday to him. I apologize to him. I missed his birthday, but I saw it. I was on vacation, so I'm enjoying myself. But and then next one is Mr. Edmund Castro, and we got Peter Kelvin.
Mr. Kelvin, yes.
Again, I am sorry about these words. And we got Eugene Pervea. Is that Pervea?
Oh, Pereira.
Engelbert
Pereira.
It's the writing. It's the writing, and Johnny, Mr. Abraham's son, Johnny. So happy birthday to one and all to you. Hope you guys had a very good week and your birthday week or today or whatever to celebrate, the God's will and give you. So. What do you have for birthday?
You covered majority of it. An outstanding person in the cycling community. He was actually close as well to cycling. Mr. Kwame Scott actually celebrated his birthday recently as well.
Okay.
So Kwame, big up yourself. Happy birthday, sir. And whoever else that we're missing that wasn't posted on Facebook or we did not get a call, we want to wish them a very happy birthday. I'm a big birthday guy, Kev. I don't know about you.
Yeah. When you get up to my age, I guess, it's just another day. But hey, listen, you're blessed, You're blessed to live here and to see things like this. That's what's happening, that people's not here to enjoy it. So I do enjoy it. I guess when it gets closer, I kind of get excited. But, you get through that, so.
I'm a big birthday guy because that's a lot of people celebrate a lot of different holidays that we don't have a lot of history about. And I think most people look forward to those holidays to party. The Easter weekend just went by. I saw a lot of parties happening. And nothing is wrong with that. But, you got Christmas, Thanksgiving, and other holidays as well.
Yes.
But birthday is one thing that we know, right? Like, for example, I've got two kids, my son and my daughter. Birthdays are coming up next month. My birthday is coming up. And I know when they were born.
Yes.
I was in the delivery room with both of them. So That's a big deal for me.
Yes.
Every birthday, I am there, and I wish them a happy birthday. My dad's birthday is coming up, so May is a big birthday for us. Big birthday month for us. So birthdays are something that I celebrate quite a bit. So if we're missing anyone's birthday, we just want to say a happy birthday. And again, good night to all our fans or regulars like Miss Rita Thompson tuning in.
Miss Rita.
I know she was super excited about the cross country. She had some nice shirts made up, Kev. We got a couple of the shirts. So that was exciting. We have Mr. Anderson as well, Keith Anderson, big fan. You've got your boy, Maynard Bevins.
Maynard Bevins, yes.
Big supporter of the show. So we just want to take a time and take a few minutes and shout those guys out. Mr. Raymond Singh in Florida, and the list goes on, of course.
Oh, man, the list just keep going on.
Kev, we're doing something interesting tonight.
Yes.
So guys, get your thoughts together, what we're going to do tonight, because obviously everyone's a Monday morning quarterback, right? Like we like to say. Everyone has an opinion on the cross country. Cross country.
And it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Yes. Been a lot. So what we're going to do tonight on the show, you guys as viewers going to be a part of the show tonight, actually. So in that segment, we have two numbers that George is going to put up. They're both Belize numbers. One you can access through WhatsApp. The other you can access directly. And if you call in, you have about 15 seconds or so. We got to make it short and sweet. 15 seconds or so to tell us, your opinion about what happened, what your thoughts are. Now, these are your opinions. These are not anything to be arguing over, not for us to debate over. This is solely your opinion.
That's right.
And your opinion only. And I think the show will give you guys a great opportunity, great platform for your voices to be heard.
That's true. But is it 15 seconds? I know that the show is so long, but 15 seconds, you think they could get their opinion out in 15 seconds? Can we give them max 30 seconds? Max 30 seconds. Okay, so 15 to max 30 seconds. And is it a question or is it a statement, or what are you looking for from them with the opinion?
Yeah, so when you go there, it's basically, what's your thoughts on the cross country?
All right, what's your thought on cross country? So you got 30 seconds, so if you want to call in whenever we hit that time, so before I go on, I just want to give a couple little shout out, if you don't mind. The favorite Miss Rita, the Queen, Big Bad Logan, she calls me now. So thank you. I just want to tell you, Monday I went up and seen her house, and gorgeous view, gorgeous house. So Miss Rita, thank you for the hospitality that you gave me. Nice barbecue and everything, and it was great. She videotaped me running up her stairs. I heard somebody say, don't fall, but I didn't realize she was videotaping it, and then she put it on her page, and let me tell you, it's got some views and some comments, so it was all love, so thank you so much, Miss Rita. A couple people I'll thank later, but just want to get that out there before I forget that.
Absolutely, and before we start into the show, we also want to say thanks to Mr. Kevin Logan for keeping us dapper.
Yes,
we love it. Hopefully you guys like the blue this week.
Right, we're going to rock the blue this week. I hope you could see it. It looks like we could see it, but the lighting is a little bit off. But you got the wheel logo on here, and then you got Mr. Wade's name on there at the side. So, a little contribution, helps out any kind of way. So, that's all about what I am. Helping out for the show to make the show bigger. Prosper, and so we get more viewers, and have to stay professional at the same time, so that's why, and stay up to date, because, we behind, everybody say we behind, but we're really ahead, we're really ahead, and so it was just goodness in my heart to do it, and more blessings to come, always, so.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, and then thank you as well for the food. I see you and Andrew came in with bags and bags of food as always every night. Thank you guys. We'll indulge in that after the show.
I'm on a diet after this week, but I'll enjoy something. Though. But always, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to help out the show any way I can.
Thank you, Kevin. And you and I had a nice moment today as well, and we'd like to thank Mobay restaurant out there in Ladyville.
In Ladyville.
Yes, for hosting us for lunch.
Yes.
So we sat with them, some beautiful waitresses, the hosts, and the owners. It's a Jamaican-owned restaurant.
Yep.
If you guys don't know what Mobay restaurant is, It's in Ladyville, just outside of, just maybe a mile or so away from the airport junction.
Yes.
But it's, you know, you can Google search it. Great Jamaican cuisine, authentic Jamaican cuisine. You can have all your favorites there. So guys, thank you very much for hosting us. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to going back. How was the food?
Oh, food was good. I had jerk chicken and it was good. And they have a big TV there. So we linked them up and they said they're going to watch it. And hopefully we got some viewers more. And they enjoyed the show tonight and from here on. So
Fantastic, fantastic. So Kev, what we're going to do is take a short break, right? And when we come back, we will talk about the race results real quickly. We've got a big race this weekend to report on. So with that being said, guys, we're going to go to break. This break is brought to you by Ordonez Bike Shop for all your bike repair needs. Check them out. And also 314 Pies, Mr. Alex Ordonez for all the best in the business when it comes to lemon pies
and it was good.
Pecan pies. Man, so we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Yes.
This is a soul for your production. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night at 6:30. As the wheels turn, racing through the streets and through the hills. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn, streaming live with Ordonez. So yes. I sit and watch as the wheel turns. My bike is where I get my thrill. Up and down, riding through the hills. I have no fear as I climb and change my gear. Through the valley so steep, now we on the street. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night at 6:30. As the wheels turn, racing through the streets and through the hills. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn, streaming live with Ordonez. So yes.
Good night once again. Welcome back to the
178.
edition of As the Wheels Turn. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Another exciting show here on a beautiful Thursday night in Borough Boom. So I know this is one of the segments that you guys wait for every Thursday. It's race results. Everyone wants to hear their names called, right?
Yes.
Kevin? So we will start off with the guns race from the 17th. George, can you go ahead and put up the results up for that race, please?
Yeah, right now. So this one right there, so?
No, that was this
Yeah,
week.
so it'd be the one that has the five guys on the podium.
Okay, my apologies.
So that was-
I'll picture in with this.
Yep. That was an open race, guys, and it was the Guns Thursday race. This is the race before Holy Saturday cross country. A few guys came out in this race that was racing the cross country. Eric Kushner from Team G Flow. We had Sean Codd, who is from PMA Racing. Both of those guys were racing the 95th edition of the Holy Saturday cross country, along with Mr. Charles Leslie Jr. and John DeLong was also in town for that race. So when it was all said and done, it was a short and fast race, decent enough. A break was formed, early break was formed, and that break continued rolling through. John bridged across to the break, brought a couple of guys, Kevin, and after that we had some shuffling around. When it was all said and done, just before the entrance to the 8 mile, before the entrance, the 8 mile entrance to the John Smith Road, Mr. the young Eric Trapp took off solo, and he continued solo for a win, averaging 24.8 miles an hour in that very short 23-mile race. Second was Sean Codd, who made a final burst there with about a mile and a half to go, sealing the second position. Great ride by Charles Leslie, who finished in third place. And unfortunately, Charles' next race didn't fare so well because he had an accident. So, but he rode very well that day, and he was in third place. Fourth position was Mr. Philip Leslie, riding for SPD. And rounding out the podium was myself, riding for BZ Boys D Wade in fifth place. So that was your guns race from Thursday the 17th. In the B category, Warren Cowie also nabbed the first 60 plus as well. First junior was Keith Enright Jr. So that kind of wrapped up your Thursday guns race for the 17th of April. Now we'll move on to the second Thursday race, which is, I know we're jumping a little bit here, but we're going to go to the second Thursday race, which was on the 24th. And our co-host will report on that.
Right, the first one was Devontae Bennett. He came in first, and this was his first win, I believe, too. So congratulations to you there, Mr. Bennett. Second place was Sean Garden. He came in second, and third was Stephen Sylvester, I believe he came in third place and everything. I didn't get the lineup after that. So you got Wendell Vernon, came in fourth. Kenroy Gladden, he came in fifth. Sherman Rock, stepping up, he came in. Greville Young and Alvin Gillett was number 8. Valen Sims, bingo, was number 9, and Fitz Palace Joseph was 10, the top 10 there.
Right.
So we got what we got for the B rider. Was that A B rider? So
George will put up the B rider. First B rider there was Greville Young, and the second B rider followed by Fitzgerald Palace Joseph.
Yes.
Let's go through the top 10 and so we can recognize some of the teams there. Devontae Bennett, he's on attach, Kevin. Sean Gordon rides for Team Santinos. Young rider is coming along very nicely. Steven Sylvester rides for the Gun Cycling Club. Wendell Skinny Vernon, he rides for Stingers, Team Stingers. Ken Roy Smokes Gladden, of course, SPD.
Yes.
Sherwin Roca, he is unattached. Greville Young rides for the Gun Cycling Club as well. Alvan Gillett riding for SPD. Valen Sims, good to see Valen Sims there in the top 10.
Yeah.
Valen's been struggling, a little bit here and there, so it's good to see him in the top 10, riding for SPD. And welcome back to the peloton on the top 10. Fitzgerald Palace Joseph has been missing for a little while there. He's just starting to, find his race legs. So those are the guys. Palace rides unattached. That's your top 10. Yep, so we're good on that one. And then we had another race, the Easter Monday race.
Yes.
The third edition, hosted by Inner City Cycling. Did you want to report on that one, Kev? You got the results? Or?
No, I got no reports on
All
that
right.
one.
So I got the results on that one. George, do you want to go ahead and put those up so we can talk?
Which category was that?
The Monday
whichever.
race.
Put up the female first.
Okay, that's fine. So the Inner City Cycling, we'll call it the Inner City Cycling Association. I'm not familiar if they're a club or not, but they are hosting this event for the third time. And Kevin, I think it's very interesting, and it's a great initiative that they're bringing back the Easter Monday race.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with that race, but it's a race that was a big deal. It was the race after the cross country, right? And
Correct.
All the cyclists get to kind of, hangover, I'd say, from the big race. So they come and they race and have a little bit of fun. and he used to finish in the horse track itself.
Yes, but they started at Marion Jones, I believe,
Yep,
and then they come up to the highway and then to Boone Hattieville, turn around at the roundabout at Hattieville, and come back into Boone. And back then they used to come in the horse race, but now we just finished on the main.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I was here last year when I did that, and I did some videotaping with that with Mr.
Nice.
Andrews, so Mr. D. So we I'm starting to get familiar with it more and more, so which is good. And I'll be here next year too to maybe step up a little bit more and maybe film the back of the race or something like I was doing. But it was lots of fun last year. I didn't get a chance to do it this year, but there's more races.
Absolutely. I mean, you know the road pretty well. I'm pretty excited and about your cycling knowledge here. You've been coming to Belize now every year and getting involved in the cycling world, and pretty soon you'll probably be a regular here on this podcast and talking about cycling. I can see your passion.
Yes. I'm always watching. I'm always riding with these guys. My big TV's ahead of me, and I got my bike, so I'm on the roadway now, and get to know these guys a little bit more, because they're on the road there, and I'm passing them, and some of them recognize me, some of them give me love, some of them give them high fives or whatever. But it's most important to get to know these guys from different perspectives too, So, but. You want to put those results up and we'll go?
Absolutely. So the female category, where 3 females started the race, and at the end it was Irene Baki riding for Williams cycling team. She won that female category. Second was Kelsey Castillo. She's riding on a touch, I believe, and Fiona Castillo also riding on a touch. So those were your 3 female winners. We can go to the junior category next. Yeah, perfect. George is the best in the business. He's reading our minds. Keith Enright Jr. riding for Valvoline Cycling Team. Keith seems to always find his way on the podium. Nice job, Keith. Ahmad Wartank Sherrington riding for G Flow Cycling Team.
Yes.
That kid is amazing. 13 years old. He's the youngest of all these guys battling, so he's still a youth. But he's always on the podium, either first, second, or third. Ahmad, keep up the great work. Great individual, very humble kid. Big things are in the future for you, young man. Caleb Ortega, another great young man as well. Caleb is hailing from southern Belize, and he's riding very well. He's a strong rider when he rides. He rides for Rolling Shutters Cycling Team.
Yes.
So great to see. Always great to see the juniors and the young ladies competing in these races, and also thanks to the organizers for putting on prizes and categories for them as well. And we go to the overall after that, or actually let's leave that for last, George. Let's go ahead and do the club riders. So here's something pretty interesting, and I'll talk a little bit about this.
The club riders.
There's weekend warriors and there's a guns riders, right? I'm not a big fan of splitting these categories up, because all the riders that are in the weekend warrior is in guns as well. So instead of having 2 separate categories, in my opinion, we should have had one category and call it club riders, and do first, second, third, maybe 5 deep. So perhaps the organizers might want to think about that next time, because it can create some chaos in the peloton. But nonetheless, we will report on what was presented to us, right? So we'll go with the weekend warriors. First was Steven Jurgensen. Steven Jurgensen rides for Stingers Cycling Club. Philip Leslie was second in that category. Philip rides for SPD. And Jairo Campos was third. Jairo Campos riding for Whatever Boys. Guns Bennett won that category. So that's 2 wins back to back. Monday and Thursday, 2 wins in a week. Good job, Devante. It's good to see him back. He's a good kid. He just got a little bit lost in the shuffle with the teams. He was riding for G Flow. I'm not sure what happened, but he's definitely talented. So we'd like to see him, probably someone giving him an opportunity on a team, and get him more involved again. Kenroy Smokes Glad, my buddy, SPD, coming in second. And third place was Greville Young. Greville Young rides again for Guns Cycling Team. Once again, would like to say a big thank you to the organizers for putting on those categories. Then we will move to the elite category, the open category.
The big boys.
The big boys. And an early break went in that race. Do you remember? Were you watching the race, Ken?
I was watching. I was mostly listening to it because I was somewhere. But it was pretty interesting. I wish I was driving and I couldn't watch and drive at the same time. But
Yeah.
it was pretty interesting what I was listening to. So especially at the end. Oh, but again, I pulled over to see the end.
Excellent. Excellent. So it was only about 38 miles, so it was short and sweet. Like you said, started at Marion Jones. The guys did a lead out, and the race actually started at mile 0 at the roundabout there at the Flag Monument, and it head down the Philip Golson Highway, made a left turn into the Boom Hattieville Road, and it went, like you said, to the to the Hattieville roundabout, made a U-turn there, came back to the Boom Bridge, which is a junction into the village of Boom, made a left turn there, and finish with a sprint in front of the Castleton racetrack.
And how fast were they going?
The average of the race was probably around 25 miles an hour.
25?
Yeah.
One time, I think they were doing about 38,
Yeah, I didn't
38, 40 or something like that when I hear it. I was like, those guys are fast. you got the bikes and everything for it, but let me tell you, those guys are really in top condition. Wouldn't even try to jump with one of them. But, you know, Johnny DeLong and Baby Chav, I mean, they're just outstanding gentlemen there, you know. So hats off to them. They're putting in their work, and it's progression, you know. So
Yeah, absolutely. So so we had an early break. You had Javin Gonzalez, no stranger to the break. You had Jalen, Baby Assassin, Briseño in the break as well. We had Derek Chavarria in the break. You had Hollister Baptist in the break. 4 of those guys ride for the same team, G-Flow.
G-Flow.
Right. And then you had, along with them, you had the Mike Mann, which is Steven Jorgensen. He made the break as well. So that was 5. Let's see if I'm missing anyone else from that break. I believe those are the initial 5 in the break. And a few miles down the road, John DeLong came across.
That's right.
And he came across by himself. And when he got there, he meant all business. I think John, knowing John, I think he was a little upset from the Holy Saturday Cross Country Cycling Classic.
Yeah.
I think he didn't quite get the result that he was looking for whatever reason. And I think he just whoever was on the road, he just decided I'm gonna take it out on these guys, right?
Yeah.
And you know, perhaps John have a little bit better method of recovery. So he was he was recovering well. Or perhaps he didn't work as hard as the other guys in the race. However, 4 G-Flow guys against John DeLong. Unfortunately, Steven Jorgensen got dropped early. Once John got there and the pace started picking up and it got a little bit more active, he was out the back, but he held on again and he won his category, which was pretty impressive as well. But to give you a little play-by-play of the race, again, John came there and he came to ride. The other guys were probably, like I said, struggling a little bit after the Holy Saturday Cross Country race, which is understandable. Yeah. Last year, I didn't ride this race. I rode the cross country, but I went and I followed the race when it came through my village. And 26, 27 was pretty difficult to hold on, and I wasn't racing. I was just in the back because of the. I mean, when you race a race like the cross country, you take your body through limits, right? You tear up a lot of your muscles. And if you don't have a routine, a consistent routine to recover, you'll recover a lot slower, right?
Correct.
If you happen to, let's say, after that race, you go out and you party a little bit, or you just enjoy, some adult refreshments or whatever, that's going to take a toll on your recovery process, right? So John, from the looks of it, he has a process of recovery, of recovering well, because that race, he came and he didn't even race the cross country. He had fresh legs, it seems, at the speed that he was pacing.
Yes.
And he was doing the majority of work, guys, and Yeah, Rick, with the tailwind, obviously, but he was doing the majority of the work, and again, he was faced with 4 G-Flow guys there from the same team, and unfortunately didn't have any answers for him, and he pretty much rode off everyone off his wheel except Derek Chavarria. Now, this is this is not me being negative to the G-Flow guys. Like I said, their process of recovery is a little bit, probably a little bit slower than John. So that's all it was, guys. These guys just came off of a very hard race, and you can see, racing depending on the whole hydration, when you were getting your servicing, how much fluid you take in, what you do after the race, all those will impact you as far as how you recover for the next event. And it showed, because on a normal day, those 4 G-Flow guys, I guarantee you, John's my boy and everything, but John would not be able to do what he did if it was a normal day of racing to those 4 guys, right? So just kind of saying that. But with that being said, the winner after the dust settled was Derek Chavarria.
Baby Chav,
Yeah, he came in first. Nice race, Chav. Second was the strong, mighty John DeLong, 45-year-old John DeLong. Crushing it. And third place was Sean Codd. That's the other guy we're missing from the break.
Yeah, Sean Codd. He came in. I saw, like I said, I pulled over and I was watching from boom cut off into boom, and he was right behind him for the last maybe 1,000 yards or 2,000 yards or something like that. But he was coming. He was right there, 1, 2, 3. So I really thought at one time he was going to step it up and maybe push it at the end.
Yeah.
After 144 miles, okay, for cross country, hills up and down, and I've been there last year up and through the hills and things. It does take a toll on your body, So you have to recuperate your body. I mean, you talked about it all the time, and after big races, you need that rest. But these guys came in 2 days later, ready to rock and roll again, and say, hey, maybe it wasn't for me cross country, but Johnny Long, great job, and Sean Codd, and give it to Baby Shab too. So great job, guys. Kudos to you guys. Hats off to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a tough, and this is it's just a small race, relatively small race, inner city cycling club. It's not a big race, so not a lot of the guys showed up. It was about 35 or so riders, 35, 37 riders that showed up, but it was exciting. Nonetheless, John made it pretty exciting, and again, those were your podium finishers. Derek Chavarria for G-Flow Cycling Team, John DeLong for Skyline, and Sean Codd for PMA. So that rounds out the inner city cycling connection race for Easter Monday. Thank you guys very much for hosting that event, and we look forward to reporting on it next year again. With that being said, we will report on the race coming up. There's a big race coming up, Kev. So we're going to touch on that.
That is on Sunday.
Yep, we're going to touch on that, and then after that, we're going to take a break, and then we'll get into our cross-country review segment. So, George, you want to go ahead and put that, throw that flyer up there, please?
For Sunday race?
Sunday?
Yeah.
So it's cross
The one I'm showing down there on the TV?
Yep, that's it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
There we go. Let us see.
So,
Thank you.
Yep. So, Kevin, this Sunday, which is April 27th, starting at 8:30 a.m., we will have the 14th edition of the annual Weekend Warriors Cross Country. It's going to be a race that starts at the Spanish Lookout Junction, and it will come down the George Price Highway to mile 8, making a left turn there, and we're going to head through the John Smith Road for 6 miles roughly. We're going to take a right onto the Philip Golson Highway, and we are going to be finishing in front of San Cas Plaza for a total of around 63 miles. In that race, we will have 3 different categories. We'll have your A category, and we are going to have 10 places in the A category. For first place being $1,000 and trophy, second place $500 and a trophy, third place is $300 and a trophy, fourth place $200 and a medal, fifth $100 and a medal, sixth place $50 medal, seventh 6 through 10 is $50. So you're getting your registration back plus an additional $25, but you're going to take home a medal as well.
Some nice prizes.
Yeah, not too bad. And in the B category, we have seven places. So first place is 500 and a trophy. Second place, 250 and a trophy. Third place, 200 trophy. Fourth place, 150 and a medal. Fifth place is 100 and a medal. Sixth place, 50 medal. Seventh place would be 50 and a medal. And in the C category, Kevin, we have first place 400 and a trophy. Second place 200 and a trophy. Third place 150 and a trophy. Fourth place is 100 and a medal. And fifth place would be $70 and a medal. Okay, that will be this Sunday again, guys. Registration registration is closed actually as of today, as of today I believe. However, sign-in starts at around 6:30, 7 o'clock, I believe. We have some very, very important technical notes here to report on that race, guys. Anyone that's riding this race will need to pay attention to this because this is very important stuff. And I am sure the officials are going to enforce this. So here are some of the rules, Kevin, for the 14th edition of the Weekend Warrior Cross Country. Absolutely no motor pacing under any circumstances. No motor pacing. Okay? You can use the caravan. You can always use the caravan to get back, right? But you cannot motor pace to get back into the race. Something happens to you, you got to get your service on the side of the road, and you got to get back hopefully to the caravan, and then get back to the race. So again, guys, no motor pacing. That will, anyone caught motor pacing is instant, immediate disqualification. Okay?
No warnings.
Well, we'll consider this.
This is the warning.
This is your
Okay,
warning.
all right.
And
No
also the president of the Weekend Warrior Association is putting out some communications via their own platforms as far as these rules and regulations. So everyone should be well aware of this. You know, I'll be participating in a race and I'm well aware of what's going on here. Again, a very important one is don't cross the yellow line. The road is not closed. So for safety purposes, do not cross the yellow line. That's safety purposes. That's keeping the riders safe, the officials safe, and also motorists on the road safe.
Correct.
Okay, guys? So absolutely no crossing of the yellow line. And another important rule as well, no lying on the handlebar. You know, guys like to do the time trial position.
Yes.
Your palms have to be in contact with the handlebar at all time. You know, so very important, whether in the drops or on the top of the hood. So what is allowed would be riding or attacking across the yellow line, but getting back in. So you can attack outside quickly, and you got to get back in, but you cannot attack and stay, right? Because obviously the peloton is going to be stretched out across one side of the road. So if you need to attack from the back, you can momentarily cross the yellow line, but you need to get back immediately in front of the peloton. Cycle and vehicular service needs to be done on the back of the peloton or the lead group. I think typically 1 minute is the designated time where the service personnel can come up to that lead group. Okay. Again, all servicing on the motorcycle or a vehicle has to be done in the back of the group. Service vehicles are not allowed to pass the race. If this is done, the head official will DQ the entire team for putting the peloton at risk. So the Weekend Warrior is really, these guys are really taking this serious, right?
Discipline. Have to be.
So pretty much the key things that you got to pay attention to is crossing the yellow line. They're not gonna allow that. So guys, be careful. Also, when you're attacking, if you do cross the yellow line, as soon as you get in front of the peloton, you have to get back into that, on your side of the road.
So all riders will be aware of all these changes by tonight, tomorrow, or by Sunday at least. They get the memo.
Yeah.
So There's no, oh, I didn't know, or no.
Well, I know it's being well communicated.
Yeah.
In all the group chats, as well as Weekend Warrior has a group chat as well for all their members. So there shouldn't be anyone who is not aware of these rules and regulations. And also, the team managers are briefed as well. You know, there's a technical guide that went out. So again, guys, please adhere to these rules for the safety of everyone. The Weekend Warrior Cycling Club would like to thank their sponsors for hosting this event. DigiWallet, Supplies Plus Distributors, Belize Tourism Board, the Cycling Federation of Belize, and the Belize City Council. So with that being said, all the best to all the riders participating in all the categories on Sunday. I'll be riding the race, guys, so you can definitely cheer for me, root me on. Should be interesting and exciting.
I'll be watching. I will be watching, glued. Probably on my trainer. You know, I don't know how the weather's going to stand, but I'll be watching.
I was gonna say, you have your bike here, you can jump in, but then you'll be flying back. So,
I'll be flying back.
You'll be back in Boston.
I'll be back.
Excellent, guys. So with that being said, we are gonna take another break, guys, and then when we come back, we will have start talking cross country, and then shortly after that, we'll get the fans and the viewers engaged. But we will take a short break. This break again is brought to you by Ordonis Bike Shop for all your bike repair needs, parts, service, and 314 Pies, Alex Ordonis. Thank you. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
This is a Soul Fire production.
As the wheels turn, every Thursday night at 6:30. As the wheels turn, racing through the streets and through the hills. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn, streaming live with Ordonis. So yes, I sit and watch as the wheel turns. My bike is where I get my thrill. Up and down, riding through the hills. I have no fear as I climb and change my gear. Through the valley so steep, now we on the street. Yeah. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night at 6:30. As the wheels turn, racing through the streets and through the hills. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn, streaming live with Ordonis. So yes.
This is a Soul Fire production.
As the wheels turn, every Thursday night at 6:30. As the wheels turn, racing through the streets and through the hills. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn, streaming live with Ordonis. So yes, I sit and watch as the wheel turns.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the
178
Look who popped up like the wizard.
I'm telling you, huh?
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on your show, man.
That's funny.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like we have a special guest with us tonight.
Yes, we do.
Mr. Kurt Kelvin.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to As the Wheels Turn, the 178th edition of As the Wheels Turn. It's a pleasure for us to host you here tonight. Viewers, if you have not had the opportunity to meet Kurt Kelvin or hear the name, he is one of the gentlemen instrumental behind the whole cycling together type energy that's going on right now with Mr. Oswald Bowman. They actually, Andrew and Kevin, they were the one that put together the Nights of Legends, celebrating legends in January, and also just recently at the Bird's Isle, another lovely event, which was the meet and greet. Welcome, Mr. Kurt Kelvin.
It's good to be here. Good to be here. Good to be in the tropics.
I'm glad to have you in the studios.
Welcome.
And thank you guys for inviting me and this up.
Yes.
You didn't have nothing to do tonight, so we just thought we'd invite you tonight.
All right,
Yes.
yeah.
Welcome, Sandra, everyone. Is it the number one live streamer in Belize?
Yeah.
The best in the business?
Just having fun with Ricola.
The best bike mechanic in Belize? Bike shop owner?
No, man, I'm just an average guy.
He's the best at everything.
Yeah.
And
That's
most,
right.
The most humble guy as well. And our host.
Yeah.
That's
Folks,
right.
we had a whole lot of fun. I have a ton load of questions that were asked. The cyclists that stopped by the bike shop and they said, please, we'll hammer you if you know, mention these things. So before we get into the show, guys, so different, this was one of the topics. They said how the cyclists in Belize would say that Kaliman or Coach Deep Flow and they have his son, right? So Kaliman, of course, will blood thicker and water, so yeah, Coach his son at one, they say, right? The next one, some teams had undercover rider helping them. That's next question, next thing right here. They say, most cyclists say that, what that? Huh, I remember when they said that. All right, we can move on to the next one. They were indeed had fun riders on their team. Most of the teams that they ask for get back foreign riders on the team. Yeah, that's some of the stuff when they ask me for. Please ask why all media house want to just do the cross country. They say they don't want to do nothing but as cross country all media house want to pile up out there. This is come from the cyclists. They come and they say please anything on. 3 weeks we need to taper. Okay, so one next thing was saying that some of the cyclists will take part in the cross country and have to taper down 3 weeks before the race. They say that the Belizean cyclists are nearly race tired.
Yeah. So we'll talk about all that, Andrew, as far as our reviews and our opinions. I think before we jump into that, let's give Mr. Kelvin the forum here, the platform.
Yes,
And Mr. Kelvin, the question I'd like to ask is, how did you get into cycling? I see you're very passionate about it, and then kind of what's your goal for Belizean cycling?
Well, cycling, I grew up in Pomona, which is 12 miles Stank Creek Valley Road, and where it was, my house was right in front of the citrus factory, where there was a gas station, and every time the races used to run down in the Valley Road, they used to turn right around the gas station to go back to Dangriga. So as a young child, 8, 9, 10, I was always intrigued by cycling because that was, sometimes the race would go all the way to Middlesex, so you get a chance to see them pass going up and pass coming down. So that fueled me. I came to Belize at 12 to go to Wesley College, and it was always there. I was playing soccer, but it was always at the back of my mind to get a bike, and eventually I got a bike. Started with a milk pan center bike. You know what a milk pan center bike is?
That's before my time.
Explain it to them, Andrew. Explain it to them. You can use it better.
Beach cruiser.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bike.
Never heard of
It
it.
doesn't call it because it's big.
Okay.
And the one crank arm go through the axle and over onto the other side. So it was one piece. That's how bad it was. So eventually I was able to buy a bike, and that's where I started riding. When I bought a bike, I bought it from Alpheus Williams, who at the time was the cross-country champion. and he said, "You have to train me." I mean, he said, "If you buy the bike, I have to train you," and that's how I started riding. And my first race was a Belmopan Classic.
Okay.
That I did pretty well. As a matter of fact, you had that picture in your in the shop for years of me and you after that classic. But so, and to fast forward a little bit, 3 years later, I represented Belize in the 1984 Olympics for cycling. So I did the 100-kilometer team time trial, and to my numbers, it's the best record to date for Belizean.
So not to cut you off, but 3 years after you started riding?
Yes.
Or 3 years?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because that's, to me, that's an accomplishment. That meant a lot of training and a lot of dedication.
So when Alpheus Williams disappeared, Mr. Abel Ordonez' dad, became my next trainer. And then from that, I did well that a guy by the name of Abel Rodriguez from Belize National Butane Gas at the time, he took over a sponsor for me, and he spared no expense to let me do what I wanted to do bike-wise and just riding. So that's really, and then Warren Cowie, me and his mom and dad basically, for everybody to do well in life, people have to come along and help them.
Correct.
And for me, I came up from 5 Amara Avenue. We didn't come from means, right? When we moved out, the house dropped down. So that's but it put me in that space for my mind to expand. How the Olympics came about, the year before, we were in Mexico, Ciudad del Carmen, riding a race, and I was duking it out on the road race with the Mexican champion. I think his name was Angel Sanchez, and about a mile from the finish, I got a flat. But afterwards, I was being interviewed, and they asked me, "Are you going to the Olympics?" And I said yes. And I had no idea what the Olympics was at the time. But then I came back, did research, and then made a commitment. And once you make commitment, and then you do the work, things come to pass, right? So that's how that worked out.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And that team was the four that rode the 100 kilometers team time trial was myself, Melvin Torres, Warren Correa, and Jocelyn Chavarria. So
Excellent.
that's how I came to start,
Excellent.
getting involved with the kids.
Yeah. So guys, when you see Mr. Kelvin, I mean, this guy, he has some good palmares, He's represented Belize at the Olympics. Not too many people can say that. I think only twice, right, in the history of Belize cycling.
No,
One times.
because they went forward and I had Michael Ligan, somebody got 96 and Ligan 1988 too.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
But just a few.
There's a handful.
Handful. So he's one of them, and that's quite a distinction. Before tonight, I didn't know that. So thank you very much.
On that team also was Wernell Reno, Linda Gillett, and Linda Gillett, and who else rode the road race?
You had Linda Gillett. You called Jocelyn name already, right?
Mhm.
Who was?
I thought there was seven of us.
Was I never make that? No.
No.
I remember who the next person.
My goodness.
Oswald Bowman never did that too?
No.
No.
I know Elmo was there, but he was there probably as a official. Wernell Renault, Puss. How can I forget Puss?
Because that Olympics, I'm if I make it, but the same I get married, and I named my first son Alexi Greywall because he won the
Alexi Greywall won that.
And so I named my son Alexi Greywall, and that's how he got that name.
Nice.
Wow.
So he named after the 1984 Olympic champion. So the man a champion.
And if he's not a champion, there's champion in his genes.
I was going to say, he came for a champion, and it seems like your dad was a champion as well.
Yeah.
So look, this is a history of. We're sitting amongst great,
I know. I'm
great
telling
here,
you, every day.
And again, that's the thing about conversation.
Suppose, everyone suppose.
Puss, yeah, that's like kind of Wernell Puss,
Yeah. And that's the thing about having conversations and meaningful conversations. You get to learn, right? As of before tonight, I didn't know that you represented Belize.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know?
No, I did not know, because we don't do a good job. Not us on the show. We don't do a good job as Belizeans to celebrate these kinds of things. And I think we need to do better. And that's one of the things that I've been advocating for cycling in Belize. One of the guys that I want to see recognized highly, and I kind of do that when I have an opportunity to speak at these events and call them out. And you guys did a good job with the legends as well. Is Charles Lewis, 3-time cross-country champion. Things like that. Guy. First off, I think we need a museum. Cycling museum. There's a lot of cool history, man, with cycling.
Yes.
Just for example, a small country like Belize having representation at the Olympics. The Olympics is the mecca of sporting events, right? That should be celebrated with pictures and, a little write-up bio on each cyclist that went there, and your grandkids, you can walk into the museum and this is me.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows, that might inspire the next generation. So, like I said, I love hearing these stories, and that's one of my wish and my hope for sports in Belize, to let's start recognize in a meaningful way our heroes. We've got a lot of heroes here, and a lot of times we're busy idolizing foreigners and stuff like that. I'm about let's idolize our own. It's okay. It's okay to give flowers.
And that's the one thing I like about Oswald Sek Bowman, because I tell him the other day, I text him, I say, you're a visionary, right? Because just the tribute to the legends. That's never been done by any sporting elements in Belize, right? To have something of that effect for their people, and the reviews were raving, right? So, and then the meet and greet, it didn't maybe go as well, but still, you're stepping out the box to do things, and that's what it takes for us to step out the box to get to another level and expand the next generation's mind.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And with that being said, it's kind of a segue into my next question, Mr. Calvin. What is your goal for Belizean cycling? What would you like to see in the next few years here?
Well, here's my motivation, is that we get more kids on the bike, especially on the south side of Belize, because kids on the bike means they're at bed early and they're up early, and it means that they're not out there in the streets, right? I have a couple of initiatives I'm running on the south side aside from cycling, but every time somebody asks, I give, because this is the future, is our children, and if we could get more kids on the bike, it'll be better for everybody. Country, everybody.
Ring the bell on that.
Yes. I get excited every time someone mentions, young people and those kind of initiatives. For my host here, I'm big on that. Every summer, they do a heck of a job here in Marion Jones, and I'm always supporting that. Andrew does a lot, with those kinds of programs. A lot of these kids you're seeing today comes out of your program, kids who, probably would have ventured into different things.
Right.
And for example, what you said, that's such a fantastic initiative. We'd like to see, the ministry, the government gets behind that stuff, and guys like yourself and Andrew, and I'm sure they will, being that the now Minister of Sport is a very, very huge sports fan himself, and excited, I think. But that's a great initiative. Yes, tell us more about that, please, because I'm excited to hear more about it.
Well, from the standpoint right now of, I wouldn't say getting into a cycling, but cycling, sponsoring a team, but definitely from the motivation of having carrots in front of people to continue to get out there. And then the initiative right now is to funnel bikes, for me, funnel bikes into here. When I say here, I mean here, to get into the south side, to afford them the opportunity to get out there and ride.
Fantastic. And with that being said, right, Andrew, I know you are very, like you said, you're very welcoming to these kids from these troubled neighborhoods. So if any mothers or guardians are listening right now and have a young child that wants to get interested in cycling, please have them stop by the shop, introduce themselves to Andrew. There are opportunities out there, like Mr. Calvin, Mr. Logan, the Stewart and Ramito family. There's a lot more people, the Bowman family, who are excited to help these folks, and try to do something positive for our country through cycling and through other sports. So.
And you never know where it'll go.
Exactly.
You never know where it'll go.
Well, just like that, the young Irene Baki and young Amal Charrington, they are stars, and just over here and change ago they were never cyclists, and now they are reaping the benefits. They are seeing success.
That's right.
And it's because of and that's what we want. We want the young kids there, not just come and shop, because some of them do come and ask for bike, but they get the bike and then they take off and they never see it again. So we want to hold them accountable, that you are getting to it because the purpose of be a champion someday or get off the streets, right? So we just wanted to, I want to ride a bike, or give me a bike because I'm right now in our work. So
excuse me if I may add that education is not everything, but there should be a commitment to continuing to grow education-wise, right? From staying in school perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, Stans is very much involved in these whole programs. So he's a part of the whole initiative along with Kurt and putting on these events. So Stans is definitely behind the scenes and well involved in pushing cycling forward. So we'll definitely see more of him. They're always welcome on the show as well. But yeah, those are great initiatives. And the other thing, what I'd like to see is my goal is to have these athletes, the accomplished athletes, right, the current accomplished athletes, is to go back into the school systems and talk about their experiences, kind of where they came from, things like that, motivate. Like you said, you never know where that next gem is, but it's all about introducing them to the idea.
So and not only that, like you talk about friendships and relationships. My first cycling team, it was Sal, Lester Saldano, Cut, myself, Bo, Oswald Sek Bowman, Kyle. And out of the four of us that was there, three of us are still tight, like always communicating with each other. You're talking 40, 45 years later, still walking, doing life together.
Yes.
Right?
And doing big things and giving back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So is there any other events coming up as a part of your organization or kind of your efforts that you want to mention in the near future?
Not right now. We obviously we'll revisit the Nights of Living Legends and make that happen, and then work on getting the bike pipeline set up. But those are the two initiatives for me right now.
Fantastic. And if there's anyone listening to the show, Mr. Calvin, that would want to be a part of your program as far as donations or support for that initiative, again, you're creating a bike pipeline back to Belize to help, mainly on the south side in the troubled areas. How would they be able to get in touch with you? Or?
Well, I am on WhatsApp. My number is 210-870-9066. That's 210-870-9066. And of course, we're in San Antonio, Texas. If you're ever up in the Texas area, feel free to stop in.
Excellent. And then you guys can always contact myself or Andrew Ordonez, and if you'd like to get connected with Kurt or the Bowman family or any other families and folks that are donating, giving back to Belize. Let's create some serious positive energy around our kids. Around these troubled neighborhoods. As we know, every week the media report is filled with crime and violence. Let's turn that around. Let it be filled with great stories like these kind of stories, right? Like you said, there are examples out there where these kids are doing great, and it shows the direct correlation between sports and the right behavior that we're trying to curb, right? So. Yeah, so it's a win-win all the way around.
And obviously, with the interview you guys did with the new Minister of Sports a couple of weeks ago, you're on the right track. So we got some backup support coming.
Absolutely.
That's good.
The question, you want if you go into When we have any questions,
Yeah. So basically, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get into. Was there anything else that you wanted to add as far as?
No, I mean, that is basically the initiatives that I'm running, and we'll go from there. But I could just speak on what I see happening, that maybe we need to change the Belize Cycling Federation another time so that we could get an association that is completely full of integrity and all operating on the same level. I just don't see that. Right, coming from last year, coming and observing cross country, then coming back this year, bringing my kids, and I didn't see the level of volunteerism. I didn't see the level of support. I see people overworking to bring the event to pass. It was a great event on a whole, right? But we have to do better to have people supporting the Cycling Association. But I think part of the lack of support is because they don't believe in different things the Cycling Association might be doing or involving. So I think that need to be rectified quickly for us to continue to go to another level. How is that done? I mean, they have 2 more years, this year, the end of this year, then 1 more year. Or, after the Caribbean Championships, there might be some changes, but the bottom line is that for us to continue to grow, we have to have a cycling association that has control of their books, are on one page, have one vision, and are working together and building community with the community and bringing the business sectors back in to support cycling as it once was. I mean, that's what I was talking about with Mr. Jose Coe, and what he had done during our time is that kind of thing. Lead from integrity and bring people in to support.
Fantastic. I love that approach, and that's one of the approaches that I've always preached on. I mean, if anything about me, is that's kind of what I always stress. Integrity, transparency, fairness, things like that. And once you're doing those things, people will support it and get behind it. And like you said, I think structure is definitely needed. There's some lack there, but that's another conversation that we will have. I am on board as far as to help Belizean cycling. Right? When I look at this is about Belizean cycling first and foremost. Let's put together a product that we can all be proud of. It's not necessarily myself, Andrew, Kurt, Kevin, but this is for us, by us. So when we present this, everyone that sees what's happening here, they're going to be proud of it. We're gonna create something that can be replicated. So we can create it when we're not there. The next group that comes in can replicate that. There's structure and everything runs fluently and with transparency across the board, right? So thanks for bringing that up. That's a conversation that we'll continue to have. I know it's a very hard conversation. Some people don't necessarily like to have it, but like I always say, I'd rather be respected than be liked, and sometimes you have to have those hard conversations.
And for progress to happen, hard conversations must be had.
Must be had, absolutely. So yeah, I think we have some good people around. I think we have some good people in place too, and we're going to collaborate with everyone and try to make Belizean cycling, better and bigger. With that being said, we will jump into the exciting part of the show now. So we've got a wealth of information up here. Obviously, we've got about 50 years of experience in cycling. So we got about a century worth of experience there. I only have about 7. So I'm on the least experience here. So
I think I am. I don't think you were. I am.
Well, you're a little older.
Yeah, I'm a little older. Started late.
So what everyone mentioned, just before we get into the discussion,
Sure.
because I had a front row seat of the entire race, I could go a quick run on the race before we get into all the questions or whatever. So what happened with the cross country here? The race was over from mile 20 for most Belizean cyclists.
Mile 20 going in?
Going up, yes. For
That's interesting.
these guys were rolling some 32 miles an hour. And what I saw is that the race have evolved as a really international event, because these guys were rolling 32 miles an hour. And what that did, that eliminated all the guys that used to just ride 25, 27 miles an hour. So the foreign riders, even the Guatemalans and Bal, most of the riders got limited. I saw or I mean, you know I said it on TV. I was raw and I said what I saw what I see, right? I said, but at mile 27, young Goran Gabriel came across with last year's champion, Luis Lopez. And when I look in the face of Goran, he, you know, I mean,
Limit.
he was on the limit, and most of our Belizean riders were on the limit. I look in their face, and you remember when we had that, we had a discussion, and we said only about 5 guys we believe would have the chance. It's the same 5 guys that were there, you understand? Because the race was so hard, and the cyclists in Conor Shop on the top, it was so hard that the foreigners eliminated most of the guys who just signed up. They were out. I mean, you see the time when they finished behind. And then the second phase of the race, they weakened the legs of the others, and then eventually all hell broke loose. Well, it was obvious, the interview with the champion, he said that he came to support Corey Williams. And so all local guys knew that, and so they sat on Corey Williams' wheel. When the attack happened at mile 32, and you had guys going 1-1, I believe that one of our Belizean guys should have jumped on and not Van, but I don't know, you know, if they didn't have the legs or what took place now. But right then I knew it was over. Right then I knew it was over.
Okay.
And basically the race was over from mile 30 to Belize. And that's always we said that the last third of the race is where the champion will evolve from, and that's where the race will have, it will know exactly who will be.
Well, that's a very interesting review there, because if what you're saying, I understand correctly, that means we're in trouble.
We are in trouble. We are in trouble. We are in trouble.
Now, how do we? My question to you is that how do you rectify that?
Tough question.
Because obviously, so here's the thing, right? Here's the tricky thing. Kirk and Kevin and Andrew. Here's the tricky thing. Apparently, the guys that we're bringing here, our riders should be able to compete with them. Okay, our top riders, based on the betting system, right? So if that is the case, then what happened? There's a disconnect somewhere. You follow what I'm saying?
So I am of the opinion that our top riders, and the 5 that I was calling out even before, and my 5, just for the record, was Baby Chav, Jivin, Oscar, Carlton, and
you had
Jocelyn Jr.
Okay.
That was the 5 that I knew that based on what I have seen in the races, was going to be able to compete or have a chance to win, right? But I've been calling out that the break was going to go early because the caliber and the speed was going to eliminate, cause a difference. But I thought it probably would be maybe like 8 to 15 breakaway by mile 20, 21. That's how I was looking at it. So in the final analysis, those, other than Carlton, and I don't know exactly what happened to Jocelyn, but other than Carlton, the guys I called out. But who was your 5?
I had picked, and if you could recall, when I was on the show last week, Wednesday night, I said I put all in bucket for Derek Chavarria, and he was the first one to finish basically. Derek Chavarria, and
which means nothing, by the way.
Huh?
Which means nothing.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying that the 5 that we called were the same exact 5. It was Derek, Jivin, Oscar, Carlton, and I had called I said
Corey too.
Corey was in there.
Yeah, so we had Corey, Oski, Jivin, Baby Chav, and then we had Bubbles.
And then we also, I think when we call when you name to somebody said Goran, but I said Giovanni Lovell.
So my question.
That's who I had on there, Giovanni Level on that 51.
So my question to you guys would be then, all right, so our guys are there.
Yeah.
The guys that supposed to win the cross country are there. Now, like I said, the guys are supposed to win are there. The competition level is not above, based on the betting process and all that, should not be above our level for the guys that we think could win. Again, listen, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So based on our vetting system, our vetting process, right? The guys that we think can compete with those guys that are coming in are there. They are there with them. Where's the disconnect? Why 4 foreigners went off that group when we have 4 Belizeans that can win in the name of Corey Williams? We have Javin Gonzalez, we have Derek Chavarria, and we have Oscar Quiros. Where's the
We keep missing breaks.
huh?
Well,
Answers. We keep missing breaks. We have plenty of breaks to catch up on it, but we just
Okay,
keep missing.
yeah. Let me start with Kevin. Where's the disconnect, Kevin? Why our guys didn't compete for the win?
So before we go there, let's go here. Why those 5 guys were on the top of everybody's list? What set them apart
Correct.
to be at that level where you could call the 5 guys that were going to be there?
Sure.
Well, I think it's the miles and the racing exposure.
Yes, I agree with
That
you.
the miles, the work that they put in, and the exposure that they got working up to this.
Yeah. So they've raced. So all those guys, in my opinion, this is my opinion again. All those guys are prepared to win that race. Are prepared to win the race. The reason is that they've all raced against this level of competition or even higher. In Jamaica and in Dominican Republic, you had better guys than the guys that won here on
Hold us out.
Holy Saturday. Okay? So, a lot of people may say these foreigners are above our levels. I don't believe that. There's something else, whether it's your riding style, I'm trying to pull that out of you guys. And I'm putting you in a hot seat, and it's your opinion, and you can say, don't be afraid, right? There's something there that's missing why we are not competing for the victory, right? For the overall win.
So, and you probably didn't hear me this morning. Were you able to hear me this morning on Love?
I was not
Okay.
no.
So what I explained this morning, and I'm not throwing driving under the bus, right? I am just saying that from a team perspective, right? If they're riding for Derek Chavarria, which that's what I heard from the different team members, then with Javin and Derek close to in the lead, there shouldn't have been a break that Javin did not put his man in a position to win. And when the race ended and you could be sprinting for position, then you didn't give it your all for your leader. So from a simply team riding standpoint, that was a failure, right? From my perspective. No, what I also caveated with, that a lot of these guys, there's the cycling politics. There's the cycling stuff that's going on. You don't know what's going on in their head in relation to what has happened in the past, what might happen in the future, or what is happening now that prevented them from making the decision that's in the best interest, right? And I also caveated that Carl Mann is the coach of Carl Mann, who's my friend I grew up with, right? And so I'm not throwing him under the bus either, but he's the coach of G Flow. I would like to know, did he tell Javin, you go out there and you get this man up there? I don't know if that happened, right? But that's what should have happened.
But, well, he's the coach of G Flow, he's the coach of Blazers, and he's the coach of Legion.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think he's the coach of.
no, he denied that he's the coach.
No, I don't think he's the coach of those other. Huh?
So I heard
I was watching live and he was coaching. He was coaching.
What do you mean in the?
No, in the race.
In the race itself. Got you.
He's a race director
Okay.
and coach
Got you.
of those teams, right?
Mhm.
So could that have been an issue?
Well, I mean, a blind man could see that could have been an issue,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And it could have been a big issue.
Yeah.
But the reality is that and that's what I'm saying. In these young impressionable minds, there's a lot of things that decision making that they had to do, and they're under pressure,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Baby Chap went like 2 miles riding on a flat, and then still had that energy. And if you look at the end of the race, if you look at the sprint for the championship, and the sprint for fourth place, there was more energy at fourth place than there was for the championship.
Sure.
So if they had gotten their guys up to the front, I would think Derek Chavarria would have been the champion this year. Now, I was thinking that Oscar was a dark horse because I think Oscar was putting all his package into this. So I was saying that Oscar might have an edge, but I would have loved for Derek to win. But, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I hope that analysis is something to the fact that what you're looking from Kevin for.
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, you know, my point of view, like I said, this is my opinion, but I've seen, you know, and I was out on the road when you passed by, and that break that was there, that first break around 25 coming back or so, they had a chance, but they were all like they say, looking at each other. You know, they're not working together. They miss breaks. You know, of what I see. Again, this is my opinion, so please do not hate me on it. But I just feel that, you know, maybe I don't want to say some animosity or jealousy, something, because it could have been Jivin that took that, but Kaliman said, maybe Chav to take it. Why couldn't it be any of them and just work together up there, push it? Because, like I said, it was Oscar when I saw that Oski, it was Jivin, it was Baby Chav, it was Corey. They were all together right there, and what I seen was that they were just watching each other. So it was just like, what are you guys watching each other for? Those guys got
and the race is going up the road.
Up the road, and just like they should have been working together as a Belizean period. Okay, as a Belizean period. Don't worry about the finish. Let's catch up to those guys. Let's see what we could do and work together. And like I said, that's what I said. It missed breaks and stuff like that. That's all I have to say. I don't want nobody to hate me with it.
Well, here my part, and I'm being a commentator, being upfront, and I mentioned this that. And when we had Carlton on the show, I said, it's all in. The reason I said the race was finished from mile 20, because the domestics weren't there. If you notice, somewhere around mile 33 heading up, the leaders had to fight for themselves. So you had, Oscar was one of the only riders there for Team Valvoline. I mean, they had a few other riders. They didn't hang on for their life. Carlton, he was there. Oscar Rick, you had Young Finn and Derek Chavarria driving. The only two were really from G-Flow. You had Giovanni Lovell there. But most of the riders were fighting for their life. I was watching in the face, and I could see the expression that they were in trouble early. And Legion, Blazers, and they had the firepower. They had the firepower. So I realized that we were in trouble from early. Now, then you had the guys like the Colombians when they're the one way make the race hard too, because they carried hard. But the teams they may need for work together. But like we mentioned, that just the leaders defend for themselves early. Normally, one leader will wait till the last part of the race to come up. But the competition was so hard that they eliminated most of the regular guys. You were saying about the vetting thing. Listen to me. The cyclists, they don't want to sit on TV and they tell me, you go say it. They come to the shop all week and they cry and say, Andrew, the young boy Alfredo Bueno, whatever here, he just come up for Belgium. The champion Jim Brown, he's a badass. He was on the.
But are they pro?
Huh?
Are they pro?
Well, they are pro level because Jim Brown,
they're just like us.
Jim Brown made a trial for Israel Premier Tech.
Yeah, but he didn't make the world tour
He
team.
didn't make it, but for the time he could reach there, yes, he has a certain level.
Yeah, I'm not buying that excuse because we just came back. We just came back from races where we won against guys that were on world tour team.
Correct.
That won stages that were top 10 in Tour de France. So that excuse right there, that mindset, is why we will not win in the future. So we gotta get rid of that. Don't even listen to that when they come to the shop.
Why don't we go to a
Here,
different country?
let me tap in. Sorry guys, let me tap in here. Sorry to over talk, but I kind of want to get this out, and I'll preface this. This is my opinion, and my opinion only. This is not the opinion of As the Wheels Turn. It's not the opinion of Andrew Redonis. It is my opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. I will give you an opportunity to voice your opinion because you will call in and say what you need to say, right? So I'll preface that. Don't be upset with me for my opinion, because it's just an opinion like you have yours, right? You don't have to like it, but please respect my opinion. And here's what I'm saying. It all starts with the mindset, right? A couple of things. First, let's get back to this whole team thing. So we're all excited about creating teams and riding on big teams. But do we understand how to ride on teams? Do we understand how to control a race? The cross country probably averaged less than 26 miles an hour. It was probably around about 24 something, right? Okay, because it was not going to slow cross country because of the wind. The record wasn't broken. So let's say that, right? There's 9 people on a team. We have big teams out there. We have Anthony Mala Digi Alliance. That's a big team, well funded. Guys are getting brand new bikes, right? Well funded team. They have a coach, right? They have all the service they can, right? G Flow is another big team, well funded. Valvoline is another big team, well funded, right? They've got their bikes, they got everything. But do we understand what it is to ride as a team? We all watch professional cycling. They hold this Tarry cross country race is a flat race. And everywhere you go across the world, it's a relatively flat race, about 3,200 feet of elevation. Relatively flat, rolling, right? In flat stages like that, you guys are very knowledgeable about cycling. Who primarily wins a race like that?
A strong guy, yes.
A fast guy, sprinter, right? You're an A guy on the team, right? Each team should have a plan A and a plan B, okay? And you ride for that guy. I guarantee you, if Team Astana, when Cavendish was still riding with them, rode a stage like that, Cavendish would be in the top 5, sprinting for first place, right? This is 2025, guys, why we cannot ride that type of format in Belize? What's the reason? The reasoning behind it is the mindset, right? That's the reason. No one wants to selflessly contribute to the team's success. Everyone wants to be the winner on the team. And if we continue having that mentality, we will not win. Like Mr. Kelvin rightfully said, you have 2 guys in a winning break. One of the best situations you can have, right? 2 guys in a winning break. They should communicate with each other based on the team plan, who's the leader. Now, we spoke to those 2 guys on our show Wednesday, and they said Derek Chavarage was the leader. That's like plan A. So why are multiple attacks happening and Derek has to cover those attacks, then Javin is covering the attacks? Why can't they speak to each other and things can change? Yo, D, how you feel? Javin, I got this today. Confident, I'm a win. All right, protect me. Anything that goes off the front, make sure I'm there, right? It's really that simple. So the other thing is and that's just how this race played out. But the other thing as far as controlling the race, we have Anthony Mala Alliance. Out of their 7 guys, let's say they have 7 guys, 3 guys from that team going in front, form alliance with Valvoline, form alliance with the G Flow. Control the race. No matter what the foreigners do, they can attack all day long. There's only so many foreigners. They're not going to all work together. They're not a team. They don't even know each other. But you guys are going to work together and control the race, because guess what? We want Derek Chavarria to have a chance to win. We want Oscar Quiroz to have a chance to win. And we want Carlton Robinson to have a chance to win. But no one is committed to doing that. And it starts with the right mindset, right? How do we develop that mindset? We have to change the format here in Belize, right? And we have to start bringing in international coaches who have coached at that level, right? Unless you have raced at that level, coaching, directing at that level, how do you expect to win against these guys who are at that level? That doesn't make sense. So you cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting a different results, right? That's what's happening in Belize. And every year, a foreigner is going to come here and take the cross-country away. Unless we start investing, real investment in cycling from a structure perspective, right? Coaching, very key. Race director, service personnel, the right people, all this, run it as a professional business. Unless we dedicate ourselves to that, we'll start making excuses. Oh, these guys are riding here, there. I don't care where they're riding. If I was 25 years old, that would be what I would be trying to do. Sorry about that. Cheese. I'm sure it's mine. Is it?
I don't think it's mine.
Yes, good.
It is. Sorry about that, guys. But if I was riding at that level, that's the kind of things I would be doing, right? I would be putting together.
What's the lock? What's the lock, please?
outside.
Let's spend
Sorry, guys.
yeah.
The car is as passionate as I am tonight.
The car said you're on fire.
Yeah.
Sound the alarm.
Yeah, perfect.
But hear this, right? Do you listen to the interview from Corey? You hear what Corey say? And like I said, I'm just a messenger. Not kill me, me just a messenger. You know what the cyclists say? Corey now win no cross country here. We are making a foreigner win first. You know why? Because Jim Brown come and say they came to ride for Corey, but somebody rather say Corey will not win. We are sticky win out. If you listen to the interview, go back and listen to the interview. Corey say these guys every time he moves, they sit on his wheel.
Well, that's the Belizean mentality. That's why I said we gotta change that mentality. What about
Mindset.
What about taking Corey across to the break and taking care of him down the road?
Yeah.
We got 3 against 1. There's 3 Belizeans here against Corey. I mean, of course, Belizean, of course, but I'm saying 3 against Corey. If you don't want Corey to win, there's 3 against Corey there.
So in the scenario I gave, yes, Javin was going to get Derek there, and he'll probably have Corey and Oscar there
But
too.
you gotta have faith.
But guess what? You have to have faith that your leader can do what he
Yes,
do.
exactly.
And if you do your job and your leader do your job, then we celebrate.
That's it.
But if we're out here watching each other, nobody's celebrating.
And unfortunately, Kirk,
Well, I said at the beginning, watching each other. God, we all have to have discipline against each other also.
I also I think what
see, unfortunately, that's how cycling. The races are written here in Belize and all levels, and we just continue accepting that, and to let these guys come to the shop and complain about nonsense and like, oh, go on the road. We don't have time to talk about that. Let's go train
Because we
hard.
could go to other countries. We could go to other countries, and what are we doing? First place, second place, third place. If we're running against these guys out there, why do we come home and just all of a sudden Plan B went out the door and people are ripping up papers? What's going on?
So we're making the chance to make people hear where the funds are.
Yes, so now what we'll do, guys, again, that was just our commentary on it. We'll take calls now, so you guys can go ahead and call the numbers that George is gonna put up. If you feel like you wanna discuss something,
My gosh, they come.
yeah,
30 seconds the longest.
And then how many?
maybe 5 or so.
5 and 30 seconds, alright.
So guys, you can call those 2 numbers, WhatsApp or direct, and we will give you an opportunity to share your opinion.
Are we going to comment on their comment?
No,
We just want to hear their comment.
It's their opinion.
It's their opinion.
And we're going to respect that.
of course.
All of us
So
are gonna respect
how
that.
say?
I think we'll leave the white this Belizean mentality. I mean, it's very prideful, but the whole idea behind we feel as Belizeans, I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, messed up. Like I said, I feel like a propaganda in a sense, so that like, you know,
You go for
for
the folks.
example, if we do it on a micro scale, right, and then we say we watch something where I believe an NBL, and the MVP was won by who? A foreigner, right? Victor Evans, I believe, won the MVP. We never say that a foreigner come win the NBL or that they win, or we never said that Victor Evans win, because at the end of the day, cycling now a team sport now, right? So that team first. So now, say, how many races on have all that in that?
Classics are like 6 classics.
6
Big
classics. So what the 6 classics when everybody the battle on make them get together all of a sudden for one race, and then say when they ride against each other, when they develop a rivalry throughout the entire calendar year. That's
Well,
crazy, right?
Yeah, well, no, Lex, I think what we're saying is that we want to see them riding more as just how you should be riding as a team sport, like you said, a team sport. And I think, like Andrew said, it's too individualistic right now, where you have the leaders fending for themselves, and that put them in a trouble early. And once you're in trouble early, your race is over.
So we're going to give Legion kudos for riding as a team. Would you say that?
Yeah, for the most part. Williams Cycling did what they were
Alright,
supposed
so
to
the
do.
second place never do, for their team never do what they're supposed to do, or?
Wait, no. So do you understand that first, second, and fifth is one team? You understand that, right?
First, second, I guess I
And
understand
fifth.
that.
So they came, Williams Cycling Team came and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They controlled the race, they brought the race to everyone else. And at the end, they were victorious. And what I'm saying, in order to to compete against that, we have to ride as teams. We have to ride more team concept, like there was a team concept. So Corey had 2 guys from their team, right, up in the front. He tried to bridge across, which was the right thing to do. He tried to bridge across, and he found out that he couldn't do it without taking the Belizean guys. So what he did, he freewheeled and said, you know what, well, I'm good. I'm gonna win.
The fans they keep the saddest thing about
No, but no,
Belizeans against Belizeans, but that the dynamics of the race, we are racing against each other. Yeah, never be Belizeans right
So-
cohesively.
so let-
one single day.
Let me give one solution to that. We have to do away with any prizes that says first Belizean across
Yeah, completely.
the tape. That gone. That gone. We have to give a significant prize that's going to be to the first Belizeans that win the cross country. So it might not be from the federation, but it could be from the government, it could be from private entity. But the Belizean that win the cross country get this bounty,
Correct.
right? And then maybe if that was out there this last weekend, maybe it would have been a different race.
I'm pretty sure it would be different. The reason why we're going with this first Belizean thing again, we have a kind of history or
Nobody don't call it.
yep, they're calling right now. We have a history. Hello, good night.
Yeah, on the show.
Yes, man, caller number 1. What's your name?
Mr. Banner.
All right, Mr. Banner, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I don't think this had anything to do with Mr. Calman Williams coaching this one or telling this one what to do. At my 33 or 34, when the crowd went away, these guys were tired, their legs were gone, and they couldn't come back. And then about the Belizean talking about, we don't want Mr. Corey Williams to win. All of them who were saying that were about nearly 2 hours behind, so they could not have prevented Mr. Corey Williams to win.
Thank you very much, Mr. Banner. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Good night. Who do we have on the line?
Good night. Good night. As the wheel turns, the question I want to ask: if Kaliman saying he had a coach at G Flow and he had a team Blazers for coach, so I want to know if he not really the G Flow coach, because if he tell driving and be able to have nothing attack or anything in a race, I don't want to ask that if when he tell them if he not the coach.
Yeah, so that's a question that you'll have to present to them. This is, what did you see as far as your review of the race?
Your personal opinion.
When I watch the race from the start, from the race reach mile 25, from 25, 26 coming back, when Brown, Lopez, Bueno, when they attack and gone, I say why Oscar, they never help Oscar. Cause I know Oscar must be the strongest out of driving and Baby Chop. So why they never help Baby Chop, or why they never help Oscar to come across? Regardless if Corey have for him T-base up there with a Brown. So I want to know if they never made a team up for things like last year how Carlton gone on fighting. So I always have a big up Carlton. For how Carlton gone on fighting last year. And this year we have the break with 4 Belizean there. So what are the problem? I want to know why, what happened there.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot.
Everybody the bash, listen to me, everybody the bash Alliance team. You can't bash Alliance team. Because in the day, 4 Belizean there, so that all Belizean lose.
Yeah. Point taken. Again, we're not bashing. It's just an opinion. We're not.
Listen, wait, because listen to me. The Monday race, Easter Monday race right there, where everybody they pass some smart comments. Want to know if I like appliance and they call it team appliance. If appliance me ride the cross country, if they still up on the highway, you can't criticize the team. Because in the day, don't even know Belize can win.
True.
The blast on the other team, people cause them on another on the live. When I watch the race live on there.
Well, that is another conversation. I will try to make sure that encourage people to be more positive. But yeah. But thank you very much for the commentary and the review. We really appreciate it. Have a good night, sir. Yes, man. All right, guys, you go ahead and call in because the line might be tied up when you call for the first time. I see some other calls coming in, so this is fun.
Well, I understand that Kaliman denounced that he was not the coach for G-Flow Holy Saturday. He called some other name.
Well, you can't be, that doesn't work like that. So those are regulations like Kurt was saying we have to put in place, but unfortunately those are not in place, so we have to accept what happened,
Yeah.
right? Whether Kaliman was coaching all three teams, that's not a topic right now because that was allowed. Good night, thanks for joining.
Yes, good night, good night. Anonymous calling in.
Sure.
First and foremost, I want to congratulate all the riders who lined up and participated in this year's cross country. No? Commendable effort on all of their parts. My opinion on the race, I think this year's race separated the men from the boys. Extremely fast race, and when the initial break went off, only those who were the superior riders could have held on. So you really had like a group of 12 guys who were an elite bunch in comparison to the field, no? So I think it's a high level of cycling in this year's cross country. As far as our Belizean cyclists, I think when we bring these foreigners into the country, we are taking the level of our cyclists up a notch. And I think we are improving. My only thing with this year's race, I couldn't expect much from Oscar when those foreigners went down the road because he was all alone. But my only thing with what went on this year's cross country, G-Flow had 2 riders in the break. I didn't get the sense that the 2 G-Flow riders organized to have one march for the other when those 4 riders went down the road, or when one went down the road, 3 more jumped across and bridged across. I didn't see anything from driving to say, okay, Derek, I'll march for you and make an attempt to get you across, or from Derek driving I'll march for you and get you across, and we settled it going down the road. I didn't see much of that, no? But I think we have a select few riders here in Belize who are definitely taking up their level. And I think we will only improve. So again, commendable effort on all their parts, and congrats to everyone. No? That's my take.
Fantastic opinion, great view. Thank you very much for sharing it. Appreciate that. Yes, have a good night.
You too.
Take one more, that's it.
Yeah, somebody was calling us.
Yeah, we'll take one or two
I
more.
say I have some international one, call. I say international number. Like,
We had a 347 came through, but yeah.
Well, the line is open.
The line is open. Continue
Take 2 more calls.
dialing in, guys. Great commentary. And again, your opinion is your opinion. We are not here to challenge your opinion. This is just an opportunity for you guys to be a part of the conversation. Because I think, in all honesty, what we're trying to do, we want to see. Yeah.
I don't know if Coleman Williams watched
Good night, and thanks for calling.
live, but for him to call.
Hey,
Good night. You're on.
good night, D-Wade.
Terry.
Good night. Go ahead.
I just want to comment on something. If you guys remember in the interview with Derek Travaria, you mentioned something about not thinking if he goes across.
You're breaking up there a bit. We're losing you.
In Derek's interview, he made a comment saying about him, if he make the effort to go across, he might have maybe not made it. So my thing is, I was wondering if he wasn't confident in himself getting across.
Well, that's a valid question, but then you got a teammate there, and I think, like Kurt said, that should be a communication between him and his teammate and come up with the best possible strategy at that point, huh? What?
Right. He did have a teammate there, and that's one of the things that I think that they really don't, and I don't think the Belizeans that run the race understand actually what teamwork is, and I think
Yeah, we lost you again. So Godwin, thank you very much for that call. Unfortunately, it was a bad connection, but we'll take one more call. I see someone else trying to get in, guys. Is that okay?
This one, go ahead.
All right, so we'll take one more call, and then we will wrap up that segment. But I think it's great to get the fans' perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You're very insightful too.
Yes. Good night. Thanks for joining the conversation.
yes. Good night. I think I have a little delay.
If you can lower your TV or device,
Okay, no problem.
we're getting that feedback.
Yeah, I think the last call I made a mistake. I just went over the interview with Chav, and he stated clearly that he and Jaren were not going to work because they didn't want to bring anybody across. No, there was only 2 Belizeans with Corey and Oscar there. So, and I don't understand why he made that comment, but I believe the G-Flow team is if I could make a comparison with the football fans, they're happy if Oscar doesn't win. So they'll do anything for Oscar not to win, regardless of who would win. That's just my opinion from watching the races, no? So to me, they were just watching one man, and that was Oscar. Because if you want to look at the reality, there were 3 teammates in that group: the 2 G-Flow and Corey, and they had two teammates forward. So they were not really working for any Belizean to win. They're just their team to win, and that's the reality. That's the way I see it.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for sharing that view. We do appreciate that, and that's why we wanted to get this conversation out to our viewers as well. Thank you for participating. Really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Hey guys, well that was a eye opener.
You imagine, open a line, and I don't open.
But this is fun. I think we'll start.
Yes, of course. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
We have to have the segment when I call you. And like we mentioned, we are not forbid what they say that out of the words that it's not of when I think we have to do a disclaimer.
A disclaimer.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Andrew, Kurt, and Kevin, it's important to have these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times Belizeans shy away from the hard conversations and calling out something. Again, this is your opinion. If it was a fact, what I was saying was a fact, then everyone would agree with that, right? It's okay to disagree with what I'm saying, but let's have respectful, good conversations so we can build off that. Perhaps you're seeing something I'm not seeing, and vice versa. But it's nice to get the fans' perspective on it and see where, what they're thinking as well. But I think, to me, personally, again, my opinion is that we need to elevate the team concept in Belize. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but
I do agree.
in order to do that, we have to change structure. We have to change how we're doing things because every year we're doing things the same way, right? We need to do things a little bit differently, and how we do that, we got to bring in some external help. I believe a lot of that's out there. I know, some of the people that I network with, guys, are very, very willing to help Belizean cycling. You have folks like Bill Williams, who's ridden across country several times. Bill Elston. Bill Elston was ridden across country several times. He wants to be more involved, but our people have not reached out to him. Every time I've reached out to him, he's been receptive and he wants to work. Mario, again, very, very receptive of working in Belize. Another very, very good cycling mind who has been getting some Belizean people opportunities here, some cyclists, is Gustavo Carrillo. very, very willing again to work with Belizean cycling. But I think, historically we've been closed-minded as far as, bringing those folks in, and we keep working with the same people and not getting the results. So I think, in my opinion, I think we definitely need to attack cycling from a team perspective. Build your team out to support, a number one guy, a number two guy, and race to win races that way.
My opinion, I just want to say, past experience from the cross-country races before, I feel we were working together back then, meaning the last 5 years, back into again, Oscar winning, why? Because, his team helped or something. We're getting away from it now. Why? Something's going on, something's not on the right page. You know where I'm coming from? Because, like I said, there was no much fussing and fighting or, just a lot of bickering. Now is a lot of that compared to, we got to get back to racing, working together as a team and put our Belizeans 1, 2, 3,
So part of that has to do with the politics of cycling. That's the effects you see is the politics of the cycling community right now. Right now, to D. Wade's point, the only team that has 3 or 4 guys that are at the top level that could probably be A, B, or C substitute is probably G-Flow, right? But why is that? It's because of the money and the time being invested into those guys. So for all the teams to come up to the level where they can compete at the highly effective team level, it's money and time that need to be invested in them for them to get there where we can go out there as a team and all execute as the plan is drawn up.
So you're saying just G-Flow out of all those top teams is what you're saying there. So you're telling me Anthony Mala is not, again, my opinion, they're not at the team level. Robertson, they're just getting their team together.
It's getting there, and now that they have the resources before, because they went from Alliance to Anthony Mala, then they added Goran, so now they're building up something that could probably compete at the level of a G-Flow. So yeah, good observation there,
Yeah.
Kevin.
But I think as we all see here, the fans see, the panel here sees that cycling is moving into a higher level in Belize.
Well,
so that being said,
I'm glad you said it, because there was something I wanted to say this morning that I didn't get to say. You guys know where 14 Pelican Street is?
Yeah, I know where everyone is.
You know where it is? The level of cycling we're seeing right now is a direct result of the effort that came out of 14 Pelican Street.
Okay. That's Mr. Donald Shop, if you don't know. Everybody don't know where it is.
Right? Since 2020, the live streaming has caused an explosion of cycling in Belize from a position of giving, from a position of being involved, from a position of more cyclists coming out. And it's not because of the effort of any one particular cycling federation. So I just wanted to take the time right now to just say, and personally for myself, I was doing stuff, but when Ordonis started broadcasting again, I was 282. Today I'm 258 because I've taken the time now to get back on the bike and watch these races and ride to them, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you got, like you saw Darwin Richardson posted earlier. He's in Japan doing the same thing because of one person's effort, all from 14 Pelican Street.
yeah.
So thank you, sir.
And I make sure, Andrew is not the guy that's going to say it, but I always make sure that people recognize that. And he's making a difference, and cycling is alive and vibrant here. And I think this is the time, like I said, this is the time to look at what we're doing that's not working, and let's click it. Let's turn the switch on, right? What Alliance is doing, I think they understand the assignment, and they're going to get there. G-Flow obviously is doing it. They could probably be doing a bit more, giving other people opportunities as well. But the other teams are going to have to step up as well. And then one of the things that I don't want to let people believe that Belize has to win this race. This is an international race.
Yeah.
Belize, there'll be many years that a Belizean will not win the race. That's fine, but what we have to do is we have to compete. So if we get our guys at the finish line and we have a sprint with 6 guys and a Belizean doesn't win, a Belizean they come top 3, top 5, that's okay. We are moving forward. But 4 foreigners who are on our level, again, let's make sure they understand that. They're on our level, they're not better than us. It's just the way we ride, make it seem that way, right? So 4 foreigners that are on our level ride off from our guys because we don't understand the assignment and we didn't work, within our team concept to kind of bridge that gap, right? That is unacceptable. To be there and then lose is acceptable, but not even giving yourself an opportunity is. What do you think?
I mean, what I said earlier is the politics of cycling that caused that to happen. But as I was giving kudos to Glenn Flowers, right? Because he have taken a lot of flack for a lot of stuff, but he has put his money where his mouth is to help cycling push along with the international exposure. So for that, I mean, he's commended. And then to Letitia, right? Because Letitia, I was out there on Saturday morning, and I saw her making an announcement. I saw her pulling tables. I saw her taking pictures. I saw her doing everything. So there, the Cycling Federation got to come together and fill in the gaps and either finish strong or step aside and let new blood come in. That would be my feedback as I look at this race.
What do you think, Andrew?
Well, we'll get time for the map, Italy, all kind of thing. But just of course, being at the bike shop this whole week, a lot of heated conversation. As a matter of fact, we had a really nasty one. I wouldn't say much in it. But people are so passionate about the cross country, and after the result, they don't know about the rest of the race, but for the cross country and cyclists and some of the. I can't even talk about some of the stuff that was said at the shop, but some cyclists are annoyed. Some are like you mentioned, that they are not stepping up to the plate. They are not riding as a team, and hopefully this conversation will help them. They're going on a camp. Team owners want to sit down with them along with their coaches and say, "Listen to me. You hear what the guys is out there? People are saying we're not riding as a team. Let us ride as a team." And at least have a great chance of winning the race. So, well said,
Yeah. When I spoke directly to a very influential person in cycling and cycling sponsorship after the cross country race, and his sentiment was, "D-Wade, I'm disappointed, and it's going to change."
Okay.
And I was happy to hear that. Obviously, there's no names going to be called, but you will see changes as far as how a team is riding, which is to what we say, right? Like I said, the race has moved beyond just that local thing where you're marking one guy, marking a couple of guys. No, it's an international race. So in order to ride at that level, every race that we look at, right? Teams ride with structure. So we have to develop that same structure in order to be successful. And I think, personally, I believe in our guys. I love Belize. Everything Belize, I love our athletes here, and I think we have some of the best athletes across the board. What I think we're lacking is structure, development, the proper mechanism to teach the right things, right? To be a professional, you have to start. You cannot be a professional on a race day. That starts long before. In a lot of different things, right? You gotta start acting like a professional, you start dressing like a professional, you start speaking like a professional, and then you'll get professional results, right? That's what's going on. You know what I think we should do? A couple of the concerns that the cyclists have, if you guys want. What's that?
They say we're cutting up.
10 minutes for what?
We got already.
I think that's okay for the cross country show.
I never only have to discuss it. I know what I got tomorrow.
Let's do this.
We go yesterday, so I apologize to the fans because we were able to give the cross country cars.
Yeah.
We never even had time for give a prize, so we have to book next week.
Next week.
But can we do this? Since we have some good minds here, can you? I'd love for you to maybe read a couple of questions, and then you guys maybe just do a quick replies that the cyclists had, since these are coming from the guys themselves?
Well, one of the main the cyclists come out and say they are unhappy that the president of the Cycling Federation has a team and that he's closely, so close to the Williams family, and they feel that they get special treatment. It's not for me, it's, that's what the cyclists they complain about. They said that if the president want to be the president, you have to be the president. Or if you want to have a team, better be a team, step down from being president, give somebody else a chance. But they are not happy, and they feel like that the Williams brothers and G Flu get special treatment. They went out even to say that the reason why young Derek Chavaria and Javi not chase because if they chase, the Williams brothers are cut them.
Well, we heard that on a comment from a viewer. What's your thought on your opinion on that? How would you answer?
I, as a commentator, I don't try to get involved in the politics of cycling.
No, I'm putting you on the spot. What do you think about that? Like, from what you
Trying to
see?
get out of it,
Yeah, we're not everybody's gonna get on the hot seat here. What do you think about it? How do you address that? Like, what do you think would be the right thing to do in your opinion?
Well, it's the cyclists have to come out and they won't have to explain their part. It's not me because I don't know where they're going. When the guys didn't take off, I said, well, their leg's dead because they can't chase on the guy. The caller said that he believed that the guys don't want Oscar win, so they are all team members. But
do you see personally any issue with Glenn being the owner of the team and also the president of the federation? Do you see any issue with that?
I think more transparency will have to happen because Glenn is doing an awesome job and he have actually built up the sport. Like what Mr. Cote said, he have allowed those guys to go abroad and with competing at a high level. That's the reason why they are at a higher level. So maybe get some more funds and care otherwise from other teams. So you have more cyclists across the board where we have the shape or whatever to compete at their level too. So just want to send his team, to get like other teams. But which I can blame Mr. Glenn if he have a team that other people have to step up to the plate and say, hey, listen to me. Well, if Mr. Glenn send out riders, I want to send out my riders too, so they can compete at the high level. So so this is our part.
But let me ask this question: when the president is taking these riders that are part of G Flow, are there other riders that should be going based on their shape and ability to perform at the time?
Well, I know it carries some other riders go race, but I know that the younger riders go often spend time train with the Legions of Los Angeles and so.
Well, to answer your question, he's taking them as a team owner, not as a president of the federation, right? And so that's where the cloudiness might happen. In my opinion, what should really happen, in my opinion, is my opinion. And again, let's preface this. I think that Belizean cycling is at the best place right now where it has ever been, and that has to do with Mr. Adonis, of course, and also with the current federation and Glenn Flowers and what he's putting into the sport. Absolutely, his passion, his dedication. No complaints there. It's definitely moving in the right direction. However, with that being said, can it be better? Of course.
Yeah.
Right. So, in my opinion, what we need to do is have a rotating national team, right? And you will put riders on that national team based on criteria, specific criteria. Point system, whatever the criteria are, you're going to create that team. So no matter where that rider is, if he's on a touch rider, he has the same opportunity to make that team. And then we get funding, like you were saying. Instead of someone taking money out of their pocket and saying, well, no one else is spending money. This is the money I'm spending. I can make the decisions. You can't be mad at me, right? So instead of doing that, you have more of a structured approach to it. You create a team. You find the right races that fits the team. You get the right funding, and you take those team members to those events. That's how I would address that, and then you wouldn't have that issue.
And the key thing on that also is that perception is reality. So does the guys know that the money is coming from Glenn's pocket and not from the association?
Right.
Because if it's coming from his pocket, then they might have a different mentality than if they know that it's not association funds.
Right.
But it'll always be a debate, and he didn't sign up for it. He actually sitting in the hot seat. I think he sat in the hot seat a lot longer than I thought that he was going to be there, but kudos to him.
I think Mr. Flores quit that job about 100 times. Some public, some not so. But again, like you said, we're commending them for what they're doing. I think can it be done a little bit better? Yes, it can. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not going to touch as much as you guys. I just think that, like you said earlier, and this goes out to all of them, start acting more professional. Work together. You know what I mean? Mr. Flowers have done quite a bit, what I've seen so far, and even with the comments, hold your comments back, man. That'd be nice. I talked to Mr. Donuts on the way down. I had a conversation through text with Mr. Flowers. Mr. Flowers, you're a president. You're doing a great job. Maybe you need to start acting professional, just like your riders. Maybe you'll get more respect. That's all. That's just my opinion. Mr. Glenn, please don't shoot me. But that's just my opinion. And like I said, the riders too. Start acting more professional. So.
Take another question or two?
But I think you guys want to wrap it up. So you're the host tonight, so you're up. I want to say my piece. You close the show tonight.
All right. So guys, first off, thank you very much for a very engaging show, very engaging conversations. I'd like to apologize to my tech people there in the back who has other commitments they have to get to. Lex has a busy day at the bakery tomorrow. And George obviously has a family he's got to get back to. So I apologize. I definitely took the show a little bit further. I also apologize for the fun part of the night that our audience look forward to. There's no prizes given away tonight. But Andrew said that we'll double up next week, correct?
Right.
All right, so there you go. Better prizes next week. With that being said, I'm going to wait to wrap it up. So I'm going to give each of you guys an opportunity to say your thank yous or wrap up the show.
Give it to the guests.
Yes.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys. I didn't expect this. It happened today unexpectedly, but it was good to be here and to dialogue a little bit with fellow cycling enthusiasts, and definitely a chance to see the behind the scenes of as the wheel turns. So thank you guys for having me, and to the association, keep it up. To the riders, do it for the fun, do it for the fitness, and do it that you can continue to go to the levels that you want to see yourself going to.
Nice. Mr. Donuts, our next guest.
I want to say thank you, fans, always for tuning in to every Thursday night as the wheel turns, as we talk about cycling. I want to thank you guys for inviting me on your show tonight. But I want to thank my family. I want to thank my sons behind the scenes, as they say. These guys work hard. They have other commitments. And last but not least, I want to thank my beautiful wife, sitting at home. Thank you for always supporting me to 100%. With that said,
I'll take it, and you finish it up, Mr. Wade.
Sounds good, Kevin.
Well, I had a very interesting trip. I enjoyed my trip. Unfortunately, my vacation is over. I got to get back to work. We got to get another Zoom, right? But anyway, I want to thank everybody that reached out to me this last 2.5 weeks and showed me all the love. I mean, down from Mrs. Donuts, Mr. Donuts, the guys behind the scene, Lex. Everybody has reached out to me, and I will never forget it. You know what I mean? I bless people. I bless Mr. Donuts, the show here, but to get the love back, it just means a lot more to me. And my fans there too. I got some fans. It was all over the place. Thank you for all the kind words that you guys been saying. I'm just gonna keep doing what I can do, and I keep getting blessed. The good Lord wake me up every day, and I'll keep doing. I want to say hi to all my family there. My beautiful wife. I don't want to forget her. All right, and my little grandbaby. They're all there, probably watching if not. But and my mom and dad. So they're not feeling good, but I want to just thank you for all the support that you guys have given me in the last couple of weeks, and thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Nice, thank you. Well, as always, we want to say thanks to our special guests, but thanks so much to our viewers, everyone who is watching tonight. Thank you. Without you guys, there's no show. So we really, really appreciate the commitment every Thursday night, 7:30, that you tune in to the #1 show here in Belize and abroad. Thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin, for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure talking cycling and some other things. I've learned a lot today from you. I really appreciate your insightful, conversation and your knowledge that you have about cycling. I had no idea, honestly, that you represented Belize, so congratulations in doing that at the 1984 Olympics.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Looking forward to working with you in the future and helping how we can, especially with the young people, right, in those challenging neighborhoods. Thank you. Mr. Andrew Ordonez, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity here to host this show tonight. I almost feel as important as you are tonight. I made sure we dressed for the part, right? But thank you. Andrew is one of the most humble person you'll meet. He never takes credit for anything, but as Kurt said, number 14 Partridge Street has Pelican Street has a lot to do. The bike shop has a lot to do with what's going on here in cycling, and we definitely want to.
Not only the bike shop, because 14 Pelican Street, there's somebody else that lived there.
Yeah, exactly.
The steps.
Yes, the whole family.
The steps, yeah. I know
The
this.
Ordonez family, yes, absolutely. But yeah, this guy here works tirelessly. It's funny. I was watching part of her cross country, and I'm like, how Andrew does it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And he sits on the bike
Yeah.
sideways. I did not know that. He sits on the bike sideways, and he puts his life in danger, man. Greek cola, Mr. Benefits in danger, and he don't get paid for it. You know what I mean?
The fact that you have to use a cycle to leave replenish. Yeah, man, that's so work. Anybody will work big type of hours there for 6 almost so much hours for back on bike that ruling, then the man have to be commentator.
Yeah. No, it's
cameraman. And then at the end, they unwind, go advertising. I don't know, I don't know to kill this man.
Look, it's funny.
Actually, this man is blossoming. His gifts and talents are just pouring.
I talked to my brother about it. I was telling him, how Andrew does it. I mean, that's a lot, man. And you were doing things after things, and then you got the cross country, and you're trying to live a family life as well, and then you were back at it on Easter Monday, and it's
I think
crazy,
the fans keep him going.
Yeah.
I think the fans keep him going, though.
From your co-hosts, I want to say thank you very much for doing what you're doing. Keep doing it, and you have my commitment, 100%, 110%, to support you in whatever you are doing, because I know how passionate you are about this. So when you call me, like you called me today, right? Well, what did you say?
Said, D-Wade, up to my head, busy, please get all the information for me, and you did it.
My response was, I got you.
Yeah.
Right, I got the boss, because this is what he loves to do, and that's what I'm committed to do, right? So we're here to help you, and I want people to understand that, right? When people are bashing, Andrew, and man, who else will do what he does? Who else can do what he, it takes special commitment to do what he's doing, like seriously,
Yeah.
And this man is not getting any younger. He looks like he's 20 years old. He moves like he's 20 years old, but I know how hard it is to be so consistent and committed to things, right? So, I can't praise you enough, brother. So, I'm here to help you achieve, your goals, whatever is important to you from the cycling perspective. I'm behind you 110%. And that's what I'm here to do. Thank you for allowing me that opportunity.
And me too.
It certainly means a lot to me, right, to be able to do that, because, again, a lot of people don't understand what you do. I do, and I get it, right?
Yes.
Thank you, my man, for being, such a selfless person and always giving, always so kind. We had a great conversation over lunch today. I look forward to, continue working with you on all the great things that you have planned, for this show and for people here in Belize. It takes a special person to give back as much as you guys do. With that being said, I want to thank everyone that supports me. We've got some people who are always tuning in and watching. Robin and Tracy, June, the entire Wade family that's always supporting what we're doing. I'm excited to be here in the studio. But again, most importantly, thanks to you guys, the fans, the viewers who makes this show possible. With that, we'll say good night.
That's it.
As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn, racing through the streets and through the hills. As the wheels turn, every Thursday night we pedaling. As the wheels turn. don't know.